Hello again, everyone. Welcome back after what feels like ages to the Enlightenment Hour. I am Morgan, your host, as always, on this ridiculous little show. And this week I'm going to talk a bit at the end of this episode about just some sort of updatey things about what's happening with not necessarily what's happening, but just what's going on with podcasts and content and that sort of things, as well as a special little series that's going to be coming very soon, actually, that you will actually be able to see my face on, which I'm sure will be nice for almost nobody. But yes, so we've got a few little announcements at the end of this episode, but this episode, as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, the whatever got you to listen to this, this is gonna be my take on some of the biggest stuff to come out of San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. It is pretty much entirely going to be quote-unquote comic book media focused. And I know there's a load of stuff that goes on at Comic-Con. You had, stuff like the Game of Thrones panel and the Ready Player One trailer, which I still haven't watched and maybe won't watch, I don't know. You also had the Stranger Things trailer come out, the second season of that, as well as a load of other stuff. For it's the place is huge, isn't it? So there is no shortage of announcements being made throughout the world of film, television, books, comic books. I know there was a couple of announcements of new Star Wars comic books, a Mace Windu and a Grand Admiral Thrawn comic book series we're getting. But no, we're not going to be talking necessarily about that today. Being a Comic-Con, comic books were what started it, of course. And, it's only fitting that every year the two big comic companies basically run the show, and just anything that came before, whether it was the good stuff that came out of the Game of Thrones panel. I believe it was on Thursday night, Friday. It was on Thursday night or Friday, I think, the Game of Thrones panel, but whatever came out of there, the trailer we got for the rest of the season, of course, episode 2 actually will be, well, as of the day release of this, of course, tonight will be episode 2 of season 7 of Game of Thrones. Check out the Night's Watch on the Odd Shape channel for all your Game of Thrones recaps. There's a little plug for you guys, because I love you. But yes, basically, all I'm going to be talking about today is the stuff to come out of DC and the stuff to come out of Marvel. Because they're always the biggest things to come out of Comic-Con, and they end up causing the most amount of discussion, and are sometimes the most worthy of discussion. Certainly the most popular things, I think we can all agree to that. Whether you are like me and enjoy comic book films and comic book TV, but aren't necessarily, oh my god, this is incredible about everything that happens, and will more than likely prefer a film that I saw just this past week, actually, The Beguiled, Sofia Coppola, come out of Cannes, which was very good. But that's got nothing to do with Comic-Con, so let's move on from that. But no, that was an excellent film, The Big Isle. It was a really, really good film. So by this, I'm trying to, necessarily say that, I'm not the go-to comic book movie person, and I can freely admit that, and everyone will admit that because it's truth. But I do have some nice thoughts on, or I like to think I do. I do have some thoughts on the stuff to come out of DC and Marvel at Comic-Con, and we are going to start with the Defenders, because I love the Defenders. The Defenders, at this point, I often refer to it as Marvel Netflix, but I think at this point we can safely refer to it as just the Defenders and just lop the whole, throw the whole, all 5 series, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Punisher, of course, as well now, as well as the main Defenders series, out on August 18th. I think we can all just classify that all under the title of The Defenders now. But I love that stuff. That is probably my favourite current comic book screen media. I adore the tone of the Defenders series. Everybody knows how much I love Jessica Jones, the character, the show, Kristen Ritter's portrayal of, just Kristen Ritter in general, really. But, the comic books themselves, everything about Jessica Jones. And, of course, we got a new Defenders trailer at Comic-Con this past weekend, a few days ago. And it was the second trailer, and it gets me even more excited than the first trailer got me. And in the first trailer, we saw the straight from the comics. I remember this straight from the first volume of Alias by Brian Michael Bendis, of course, the creator of Jessica Jones. We saw just a little clip in the first trailer, not this one, of Matt Murdock meeting Jessica for the first time. And it was the exact same scene as is depicted in that comic book. But in this trailer, it seems like it's hilarious. It seems like it's very, very funny. And there's humour in Daredevil. Daredevil's pretty funny, both seasons. Jessica Jones, there's sort of less humour because of the topic it's going on about. But I do tend to find Jessica as a character quite funny anyway, because she's just very dry and, always quick-witted. And that is definitely the case from what we see in this trailer, making fun of Daredevil's ears, as she calls them, corrected as, no, them are horns. I am a devil. I am the devil of Hell's Kitchen. No, he doesn't actually say that. But, and I remember actually, I don't know if it wasn't in this trailer. This might have been in the first trailer as well. You get Daredevil actually making fun of Jessica's scarf, because he's wearing Jessica's scarf as he's sort of blindfold, and Jessica says nice scarf or something like that in a mocking tone, and he just goes, it's yours. It's going to be a very dry, witty show, I think. The Defenders, less than a month now, which is fantastic. I cannot wait. I can't wait for it for more than one reason, but the one reason is because I love the characters of the Defenders. There's a current Defenders comic run by Brian Michael Bendis that is probably my favourite thing I'm reading right now. I think it's only 3 issues in, I think. 3 or 4. 3, I think. And but yeah, that started off really good. So I love the Defenders. Sigourney Weaver in these trailers looks absolutely... She's just a powerhouse. And it seems like she's just going to bring the intimidation that that we're kind of used to in the Defenders' whole little universe they've got going on there. Wilson Fisk, pretty intimidating guy. Kilgrave, the Purple Man, pretty intimidating guy. Mahershala Ali's Cottonmouth, that's what his name was. Pretty intimidating guy. They're used to intimidating villains. Punisher, who was, I suppose, the villain. Yeah, he's intimidating. He's not like a powerhouse guy, though, is he? Well, he is, because he's very powerful, and he just storms around shooting people. But he's not the sort of suited, I will, murder you, but I'll get somebody else to do it, kind of Wilson Fisk type. He's not that. Sigourney Weaver looks like that. And we also see her meet Madame Gao, who is the little Chinese woman who is just wonderful and devious and villainous and glorious. And she's been in... Was she in Luke Cage? She was definitely in Daredevil and Iron Fist. Pretty predominant in both of those, to be honest. Daredevil season 1, I think, if I'm remembering right. I can't remember where she wasn't in Jessica Jones. I can't remember if she was in Luke Cage or not. But she's going to be in the Defenders, and it looks like her and Sigourney Weaver are going to be plotting some sort of big thing together. I know the people that were actually at San Diego got to see the first episode of the Defenders series. That I haven't watched any sort of review of the first episode of Defenders. Come and watch our YouTube video. I've not watched any of that because I don't like doing that until I've seen the thing. I don't want to know anything that's going on, apart from what's in the trailers, obviously, because I'm not going to not watch the trailers for this. But I don't really know. I don't want to hear what people think before I see it, because then I can form my own opinion and not be influenced by what the people I usually like think. Because if, the schmoes or whoever say, oh, the Defenders season, not season 1, episode 1 Defenders, it was okay, hopefully it'll get better. I'll go into it going, oh man, this isn't going to be that good. But, alternatively, if they say, yes, this is the best thing ever, my excitement will be through the roof, and I may end up being disappointed when I come to watch it. So I'd rather stick as I am now, in which I'm very much looking forward to it, not knowing what anybody actually thinks about it, which is great as far as I'm concerned. But yes, I cannot goddamn wait for the Defenders. And what else did we get in this trailer? It got a lot of humour. I do think it's going to be very funny. Kristen Ritter is my woman crush every day. That's true. That's just a fact. And Mike Colter is my man crush every day. So, when Jessica and Luke Cage finally get back together in the Defenders, which we really hope's going to happen, because it didn't end that well after Jessica Jones, the series, I should say. I believe that Jessica put him in a coma. In fact, no, I don't believe that. That's what she did. Didn't end well, so they're going to get, they're going to have to come back together, and it's all going to, sparks are going to fly. It happens all the time in the comics. They split up, they're back together, and they have a child, they get married, they get separated, then they get back together because of the child, and it's all over the place. But when there's nothing else, Jessica's always got Luke. Even when they don't like each other, which they don't at the minute in the current Defenders universe, they'll like each other eventually. We're gonna see some sparks, I would think. There, of course, we get Elektra back as well, and Elektra is also working with Sigourney Weaver. Now, I watched the panel, the Defenders panel, and Sigourney Weaver said, Sigourney Weaver and Elodie Young, who plays Elektra, did say that Elektra has, because she technically is quote-unquote dead, but, the hand, so she's not actually dead, because people can bring each other back to life. She has amnesia, Elektra. So, she doesn't necessarily remember Daredevil. She doesn't remember Matt Murdock, and all the fun times they had in the boxing ring. She's got no memory of that. So that's going to have an effect on Matt for sure. When them two finally meet up, and Elektra's going to be the sort of physical villain. I'm using the quote marks again in the Defenders series, and Sigourney's going to be the suited up, powerful one who's just getting Elektra to do everything. And then Madame Gao's involved as well. So who knows what's going to happen, but I am very, very, very excited for it. For everything, including Mr. Finn Jones as Iron Fist. Who also, actually, it was announced for the first time on this panel that Iron Fist Season 2 is going to go into production, I believe, next year. Now, I don't think anybody loved Iron Fist. I think few people actually liked Iron Fist. Wasn't necessarily the most entertaining, sort of captivating show I've ever watched. I think it got a bad rap right off the bat. I think it got slammed too hard when it first came out. I really, really don't think it was as bad as people say it was, because I know to be fair, I do know people that just, oh god, I can't watch anymore. I'm gonna have to stop because nothing's happening. Which is understandable, but I watched all 13 episodes, and stuff did actually happen in the last few. But yeah, no, I still have faith in these people, because the whole Defenders universe they've got going on at Netflix is probably my favourite, superhero comic book screen media, like I said before. So yeah, and of course we are getting season 3 of Daredevil as well, season 2 of Jessica Jones, season 2 of Luke Cage, but it was the first announcement of season 2 of Iron Fist at San Diego. And of course we've got the Punisher spin-off coming up as well, which I believe some footage was shown of, but I've not watched any sort of reviews or anything of that either. for the same reasons. But yeah, just basically know that. Those are my little quick thoughts on what I think the Defenders is going to be like, and just telling you how excited I am. And Kristen Ritter, you are my everything. I mean, that might be a bit much, but, you know, you get a point. Let's move on, shall we? After 20 minutes of rambling about the Defenders, let's move companies. Let's go DC. Because the DC panel, oh yes. Oh yes. How wonderful was that? This was another one I watched. Not live, of course. I'm not in the country. Or there in Hall H. But I think, no, it was the highlights. Yeah, but my God. Well, why don't we talk about, first of all, the first thing that actually happened was Jason Momoa, the mental case that he is, and we love him, sprints out with like projections of waves on the big screens and everything, comes out with his Aquaman trident, starts sprinting out and, you know, spinning his trident around, and that's all wonderful. Momoa is perhaps the single coolest man on the face of the earth. So he's always entertaining. And yeah, they did actually show some Aquaman footage as well, didn't they? That we're also not going to get to see. Well, at least yet. But Aquaman's quite a while off anyway. I think it's still currently. I think it is. I've not actually checked the release dates because there was a big slate announced as well, a big slate of films for DC that I'll talk about in a short bit. But as far as I'm aware, Aquaman is still slated for November 2018. So we've got ages to wait for that. But we don't have that long to wait for Justice League yet. Justice League, November 17th this year. I cannot wait. That trailer was incredible, but it wasn't as incredible as the poster. Now, I've used the landscape poster. If you're on YouTube, I've used the landscape poster for the thumbnail. So you can see that right now. If you happen to be on iTunes or, you know, any sort of audio-only service, I'm sorry you cannot currently see the Justice League poster because it's wonderful. It is. My immediate reaction to seeing that poster was very similar to my immediate reaction of seeing the Last Jedi teaser poster that was announced at Star Wars Celebration, the red one with Rey at the bottom. Very similar to the original Star Wars poster of Luke holding up the lightsaber, and with a big half face of Luke and half face of Kylo on, and yeah, my immediate reaction to this Justice League poster was equal to my immediate reaction of that, and it was just, oh wow, I must have that. I must have that. That will be going up on the wall. It has to go up on the wall. It's beautiful. And I like how they've used everyone's logo in the you cannot what is it? You cannot save this world alone or something like that. But I like how they've used you cannot save the world alone, I think. Or you can't save the world alone. I like how they've used every member's logo in some way in that, and they're all just stood there with faces. It does remind you of, and I know this has been said a lot, but it's been said a lot because really it's true, it does remind you of an Alex Ross piece of comic book art. A really classic Justice League look. And the trailer just looks stunning. It looks gorgeous. And again, this is another one that does look pretty funny. And that's what we want. That's what we wanted. That's what we thought was going to happen when Joss Whedon stepped in. He was going to inject a bit of humour. It looks as though he has done. It looks as though they've made a great film. Not just a great comic book film, but it looks like they've made a legitimately great film. They did that with Wonder Woman. Why can't they do that with Justice League? And we know Wonder Woman, of course, is going to be phenomenal in Justice League again, as is, I'm sure, Momoa as Aquaman. Ezra Miller looks pretty funny. Flash, I think there's a quote. He says, "I've not been into battle before. I've just pushed people and ran away." That is like something. Thinking about that now, that is like something out of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You should say, I imagine Dennis Reynolds being the Flash now. That is what I'm imagining. And he's just saying, I don't know how to battle. I just push people and run away. It's very Dennis Reynolds to me. I think I'm going to laugh. I think I'm going to laugh in Justice League. And that's just great. Because after the likes of, before Wonder Woman came out, we didn't think we were going to laugh at anything. DC. Everything's going to be as miserable and dark as Batman vs Superman. And have absolutely no humour in it. But, no, it looks to be a very, very fun film. I can't wait to see the whole dynamic of them. It's similar. I mean, I say similar. It can't be more different, but it's similar to the Defenders in the sense of, a team coming together and having to deal with each other. And I just can't wait to see the dynamic in both of them. I really can't. But I am especially looking forward to Justice League for just the way it looks. I mean, that's something DC, regardless of what you think of the DCEU, the film universe of DC, regardless of what you think about it, they look great. They look phenomenal. They are visually incredible. And that doesn't make a film, believe me. It might as well be a painting for something to just be visually incredible. It does. A film needs to tell a coherent story. It needs to have meaning to be good. And it needs to look, decent. Justice League's definitely got the look down. And all the DC have got the look down. Wonder Woman had the story down as well. Merged them both, and that's why it was great. Justice League looks to do the exact same. Whether it will be as optimistic as Wonder Woman, I don't know. But it looks to be equally as great. And I hope it is, because it'll shut everyone up. Oh, I don't like DC. Go away. Go away. Go away. Stop being... it's possible to like more than one thing. I'm sick and tired of seeing Marvel versus DC. Even this weekend at Comic-Con, when both properties, and we'll get onto Marvel in a bit, we're going to finish off on the main Marvel news before the little announcements that I've got. I am sick of hearing Marvel versus DC stuff, and we've heard it for years now. But even this week, when both have had great presences at Comic-Con, even this week, and I don't think it's not going to stop anytime soon, but I'm sick of hearing it. Marvel's better than DC at this, DC's better than Marvel at that. Who cares what's better? Do you like it? Yes, you like it. Good. Do you not like it? No. Fine. Don't keep going on about it. comparing everything all the goddamn time. That's what people do. And it annoys me. Speaking of people annoying me, a couple of days ago, Ben Affleck's not going to play the Batman anymore. Yesterday, Ben Affleck comes out at the DC panel. I love playing Batman. Batman is a phenomenal character. How many people get to come to San Diego Comic-Con and say, I'm Batman? It's been fantastic. Ben Affleck ain't going nowhere as the Batman. And people can bring up, oh, well, he said he was still directing the Batman in January. You know, the Batman film. He said he was still directing that. Then he stepped away like 3 days later. Ben Affleck was going through alcohol problems and a divorce at the time. Pretty different to now. The guy looks fine. The guy was great at Comic-Con. I loved every word he said. I loved every single thing he did. Ben Affleck, I love you, son. You're great. You are the Batman. At least the current Batman. You are the current Batman. That is true. And you look great in Justice League. There are some phenomenal shots of Batman in that Justice League trailer. There's one where there's like a red sky behind him and he's swooping down. It looks phenomenal. It is straight out of comic book art. It is straight out of the Arkham video games. The best iteration of Batman we've ever had. In my opinion. Justice League, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller. Who am I leaving out? Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder, Jeff Johns, even. Let's go Jeff Johns. He's big. He knows what he's doing. He's running the show. Everyone. I cannot wait for the Justice League, and I hope the best for all of you. We also got a nice slate of DC films coming out. Wonder Woman 2 will be coming out. That's been announced. Shazam, which is apparently going to be the next film on DC's slate to go into production. Looking forward to that one. We also have the Green Lantern Corps. Is Green Lantern going to turn up in Justice League for some small moment at the end? Maybe. Maybe he will. I'd like to see that. They do mention the Green Lanterns in the Justice League trailer. In fact, I think it's... I can't remember actually who does it, but I'm sure the quote is, there's no Green Lanterns, there's no Kryptonian Clark, or Cal, whatever you call him. Soups. So they're not there. Or are they? Will they come in at the end? We know Superman's in there, because he's in all the pictures. That's the only mention of Superman we get in the trailer. There was none of this reveal of Superman that everyone was panicking about 3 days ago. Oh God, I hope they don't show Superman in the new Justice League trailer. Well, they didn't. It's safe to watch. I don't think that would have been a good idea. It wouldn't have been a good idea. And it's why this trailer worked as well as it did. What else have we got coming out? Let me have a look at other films on the DC slate. He said Wonder Woman 2 is happening. Shazam is happening. The Green Lantern Corps is happening. Batgirl is happening. We didn't get, any sort of casting announcement or anything like that. But Batgirl is happening. And that's good enough for me, because it's going to be great. We do, of course, also have Suicide Squad 2, which hopefully is better than the first one. Hopefully they don't muddle things up this time and make one movie instead of two completely different movies that they put into that one movie. And it didn't work, did it? No, it didn't. So let's hope Suicide Squad 2 is a step up from Suicide Squad, even if Jared Leto's still in there. We also have the Flashpoint. Seems a bit odd to do Flashpoint as the, sort of first in a Flash movie. I don't know. It's kind of like doing, I don't know. But this gets me thinking, because Flashpoint is, of course, a reset of the universe. That's the plot of the story of Flashpoint is reset the universe because of reasons. So is that what they're going to do? Are they going to reset the universe? Is that their plan? Now, this was a reason behind people with. This was a reason that people were saying Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore, and they're going to use the Flash to reset the universe, so they cast someone else as Batman. But then Ben Affleck comes out, says he loves being Batman. He can't wait to be Batman more. He loves nothing more than coming to Comic-Con and saying, "I am the Bat." That's a quote. I don't know what they're doing with the Flash film. We know it's been through 17 directors already. And it was supposed to come out, I believe, last year. Or at least this year. Probably not last year. That's a bit soon. Or it was going to production, I think, probably. But, no. I'll say at this point, I'm very excited for the Flash in Justice League. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole Flash solo film, to be honest. That's one small bit of negativity you're going to get in this episode. We also have Justice League Dark, which has been thrown around for ages. And, of course, The Batman. The Batman. When are we going to get that film? Come on, Matt Reeves. Come on, Ben. Get it made. Get it into production. I don't know when. I don't know what's coming up when. The Batman's probably going to be like 2020. I just have a list of what's been announced. I don't know when anything's coming. I just know that Shazam is going to be the first one to go into production after the next one to go into production. But I'm very excited. Very, 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 very excited for everything DC are doing now. And I was, I, like everyone, was nervous about DC before those initial reactions of Wonder Woman came out. But then Wonder Woman came out and killed. They've just killed Comic-Con. Justice League looks like it's going to kill. Is DC back on track? Ooh, there's a question. Was DC ever off track? There's a question. Because Man of Steel's great. Batman vs Superman is a good film. Suicide Squad's not. Forget that exists. Wonder Woman is an excellent film. As far as I'm concerned, they're 3 for 1. It's not a losing record. Anyway, that's done with DC. I'll stop talking like this as well now. I don't know why I'm putting very long pauses in the middle of sentences. Probably for some sort of effect. But whether that's working or not, I don't know. I'm just going to continue to talk as my mouth wants to at this point in the day. We'll move back onto Marvel and transport over to the MCU. We're out of Netflix, we're out of TV, we're on to the film. We got a Black Panther poster and a bit of Black Panther footage. well, the people in Hall H got a bit of Black Panther footage that we are not going to see. But we got a poster, and that poster is a hell of a lot better than the first poster. You know, the Chadwick Boseman, or Chasik Bossman, if you watch the Schmodown. Chadwick Boseman photoshopped head onto a drawing, which was the first Black Panther poster. This Black Panther poster is much better. It's got a big, sort of silver-looking panther head, Black Panther stud on top of it, and you can just see Wakanda just in the background. It's pretty nice. It's no Justice League poster, but it's pretty nice. Oh God, have I just compared Marvel and DC? Am I a hypocrite? Please tell me I'm a hypocrite for just comparing Marvel and DC. Oh dear. We also got a Thor Ragnarok poster and a trailer. The Thor Ragnarok poster is very bright, very loud, but it's a good poster. It's a good poster. Now, if I'm permitted to compare the Black Panther poster to the Thor Ragnarok poster, very different posters. And, you know, you shouldn't really... I'm looking too much into posters, really. But some posters, some posters do it, some posters don't. That first Black Panther poster, no. The second one, yeah, okay, well done. This Thor poster, yeah, okay, well done. But the trailer, now the trailer's something to talk about. And something I didn't notice until it was pointed out on Facebook, I think it was on the Movie Talk by Movie Fans page on Facebook. Maybe it was on Schmoville. Hunt for the Wilder People, which is Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi's film from 2016, which is wonderful and was one of my favourites of last year. Paula Hall, the child services officer, appears in Thor Ragnarok. Not of course, not Paula Hall, the character. The actress appears in Thor Ragnarok. I love that. I know that when I go and see Thor, and I see that woman, I don't know her name. I don't know the actress's name. But when I see her, I'm just going to laugh. And I expect to be laughing throughout Thor Ragnarok. Because of Taika Waititi. And because it looks funny. It looks very funny. So that's great. I'll tell you another thing that's great. Is the Hulk's finally talking. It's about goddamn time. The Hulk talks, guys. He doesn't just wear the gladiator outfit and scream. He's talking with Thor. You know, Hulk like... Yeah, as like Hulk talks. What did he say? I forget what he said. But even that was funny. Even that was funny. You get Cate Blanchett as well, looking pretty menacing. She's Hela, of course, who's gonna take over, or tries to take over Asgard. It looks like Thor and Loki are actually working together. It looks like that. It looks like they're working together to take down Hela. Which is interesting. You know, along with Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner, of course, has got absolutely no idea where he is either, which is fun. Mark Ruffalo's face. Mark Ruffalo's face is a good face for confusion. He just looks around. He's very similar to Mark Wahlberg in that sense, where he can just play confusion very well. He just look around and go, "Whoa, where am I?" It's just like, good acting, Mark. Well done. But no. Yeah, Bruce Banner's got absolutely no idea where he is, though. But I have heard that it seems that the Hulk is refusing to turn back into Bruce Banner, which is interesting. Maybe we'll get some nice character from the Hulk. I'd like that. I'd like some nice character from the Hulk, some nice character moments. Because the Hulk is too often depicted in films, really, as just a big green monster who smashes things. And he does do that. But he's a troubled guy, Bruce Banner. And I'd like to think we get more of that in Thor Ragnarok. I'd very much like that. I think that's about it. Oh no, wait. There was one other thing, wasn't there? There was definitely one other thing. Of course. The Infinity War trailer that they showed at D23 for the people in that room, and showed again yesterday for the people in Hall H. And they are not releasing it to the public. And I kind of love that, because it's getting people in an uproar. Wait, people. I know you're excited. I'm excited as well. And if you'll permit me to compare again, I'm not as excited as I am for Justice League. That's just a fact. Sorry, everyone. I do apologise. I've compared again. No, I don't want to compare. I don't want to compare. I am excited, very, very excited for both of them, of course. But we're not gonna see the Infinity War trailer. This mystical Infinity War trailer with Thanos being menacing, and Captain America with a beard, and the Guardians of the Galaxy meeting Thor, and whatever else is in there. I don't know what's in there. You might, if you've read the trailer breakdowns that people are doing. But I don't do that. You should know that by now. I've said it 3 times in this episode. Wait for the Infinity War trailer, people. Don't get angry. My God. Please. Even if it comes out, like they say, what? Did they say December? December's not that far away. I mean, it might sound far away. And especially, now I really must say this, because this is as bad as filming a film, or filming a post-credit scene of a superhero film when you're at the cinema watching the film. Can't remember which film it was, but I was sat in there, you know, getting ready for the post-credit scene through the credits, and there was a guy about 3 seats away from me. Got his phone out, got his camera out on his phone, and films the post-credit scene of this film that I forgot what it was. But yeah, he does that. It wasn't Spider-Man. Can't remember what it was. But he films it, and it's despicable to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And it's it's the exact same. Don't film the Infinity War trailer when you're sat in Hall H. Don't film it on your garbage phone and put it on YouTube and go, exclusive Infinity War trailer footage, look at my video. No. You're an idiot. Don't do that. You know what you do? You put your phone away. When you are one of a few thousand people that will have seen that trailer before, months before anyone else. This is perhaps the most anticipated, globally, the most anticipated comic book movie of all time is Infinity War, right? Comic book movies are the biggest, most popular genre today, and Infinity War is probably the most anticipated comic book movie globally. So, you know what you do? You put your phone away. You sit in your chair. You enjoy watching the Infinity War trailer. And then you go out after, and then you talk about it with the other people that watched. And you can gloat at the people that haven't watched all you want. Have your fun. But don't film it. Don't film it. Don't put it on YouTube. And especially if you're sat here like I am. If you're sat here like I am now, waiting so hard, you're so excited to see the Infinity War trailer. Don't watch one someone's filmed on the phone. Wait for the Infinity War trailer. Don't watch someone's pirated. It's essentially a pirate film. I mean, it's not, but it is. That's the last thing I wanted to say. Let's do some of these little announcements then, shall we? And I'll stop talking like this. Like I said I was going to about 20 minutes ago, but I didn't. This must be how I want to record today. Yeah, I did say at the start, if it does feel like it's been ages since there's been an episode of anything. I mean, the last thing I put out on this was mine and Nolan Dean's conversation on Spider-Man Homecoming for the Enlightenment Hour. That was the last thing that I put out on this, and yeah, it just seems like ages ago. HorrorHouse hasn't stopped. It may seem like it's stopped. If I was ever going to stop HorrorHouse, there would be, I would record a little, this is it. This is the end, thanks for listening, guys, type video. But I haven't done, or type episode, but I haven't done that. So it's going nowhere. But it might, sort of become less frequent, at least over the next couple of months, because the sort of summer months are a bit sort of out of routine for me. I don't really know, and it's sort of more difficult to sort of plan things, and because I want guests on HorrorHouse, that's what I've always liked doing, and I want to get those slightly bigger guests on as well. Some of my episodes, some of my favourite episodes of HorrorHouse were the Stacey Howard episode and the Roger Barr episode, and they were wonderful for coming on. HorrorHouse hasn't gone anywhere, and but just keep looking out for it. Just keep looking out for it. That's all I can say. A Sunday is always when a podcast episode will go up, apart from last Sunday, which should have been a HorrorHouse. But so I must apologise for that. But Sundays is when these things usually do go up. The Enlightenment Hour is absolutely going nowhere. Absolutely not. I love doing the Enlightenment Hour, and if I'm permitted to compare again, at this point, I'm sort of enjoying doing the Enlightenment Hour more than HorrorHouse. It's maybe becoming slightly difficult to find topics for HorrorHouse. even though, there's a lot to talk about. There certainly is a lot to talk about, but with the wanting to get the guests on and everything, the Enlightenment Hour at this moment is a sort of priority, and that's just the truth. That is just the truth. And I did say back when I first started doing the Enlightenment Hour, this show may just be, go more than, every other week. It may go to every week because of what's happening. Like I said, I want the Enlightenment Hour to become a sort of central hub of a podcast feed for all my sort of thoughts on things, which is why you get such different episodes on it. You get episodes like this, you get episodes like the Spider-Man Homecoming episode, you get the top 5 episodes, you get even the first episode, which was like teaching me about something. That's why you get different types of episodes on the Enlightenment Hour, because it's my testing ground for various formats of podcast content. So, yeah, that being said as well, there is also a very exciting little announcement of a short series that will be on this YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube right now, there's a link to the YouTube channel in the description, so it's there. I will be visiting my wonderful friends Tom and Kimber of the Odd Shaped channel. We love them. Everybody loves them. And I will be visiting them in less than a month, and I will be essentially quote unquote vlogging, because I don't really like that word, but I'll be filming that entire trip, which will be a lot of fun, and it will be a little series on this channel, on this YouTube channel, and that will be me in New York City and upstate New York, which is just going to be great, and I can't wait to go, and I'm going to love doing that. I don't necessarily know what sort of style the videos will be in, whether they'll be, little snippets throughout every day, or just one sort of bigger put together video every day. I don't know. But that has an official title as well now. This whole little series of filming myself visiting Tom and Kimber has its own title that Kimber came up with, so all credit goes to her for this. An OS Peep Abroad. Yes, an OS Peep Abroad. OS Peeps are what the family of Odd Shaped panel call themselves, the OS Peeps, and that's what that series is going to be called, an OS Peep Abroad. If you get it, you get it. Guys, thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about things that happened at San Diego Comic-Con, about those little announcements there, and about telling people not to compare things whilst comparing myself. Hypocritical. Thank you. Anyway, yes, guys, thank you as always for listening. You can find me on Twitter at the PurpleDon. You can follow HorrorHouse on Twitter as well at HorrorHouse Pod for any sort of updates about new episodes, when they will be, frequency of episodes, all stuff like that will be at HorrorHouse Pod on Twitter. Like I said, me at the PurpleDon on Twitter, hashtag PDE Hour, if you want to carry on any conversation from this podcast. That is about it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're on there. Please subscribe to the podcast feed if you're on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever it's actually called. Rate and review. Let's get some of those going, if you're feeling generous. Guys, thank you as always for listening, and until next time, goodbye.